Thank you, sir. I request Shri Kandapuri to honor T.S. Gurumurthy Avargal, guest of honor of today's program. Thank you, Rajsekhar. Who is Sadguru Sivananda Murthy? What was his mission? Here comes Shri L.V. Subramaniam, IAS, former Chief Secretary, Government of Andhra Pradesh, to enlighten us briefly.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of Puja Guruji. Today's chief guest, our Governor, His Excellency Sri R.N. Ravi, our elder jurist, because several of his arguments have led to epoch-making judgments from the Supreme Court. Shri Parasaran Garu, our elder Shri Gurumurthy Garu, my good friend and younger brother Raj Kandapuri. Guruji was born into a zamindari family in Urlam. Though he took birth in Rajahmundry, he inherited a huge estate at the time of his birth. But imbued by a sense of duty to awaken national spirit, national conscience, he walked out of his riches and he chose to start his career at the lowest end of the ministerial cadre. When he was leaving his house, his father told him that you are leaving behind the entire wealth. Would you not like to care to carry something with you? He said, yes, father. Please give me 100 rupees. The clerk who was working in the estate asked Guruji, why don't you take at least 1,000 rupees? He said, no, 100 rupees is enough. That's how he started his mission. And his mission, beautifully captured by one of our great literators, Sri Pullala Sri Ramachandradu. I would read a small passage. Sadguru Sri Sivananda Murthy Ji is a great savant who has taken preserving and propagation of Indian culture in its various aspects as his life's mission by adopting every possible method like writing books backed by scriptural authority on various subjects, conducting national and international seminars, establishing cultural organizations and periodically honoring eminent personalities like we are doing today, who won laurels in different fields selected from all parts of India. He traveled to all the physical boundaries of this country and he conducted more than 4,000 Rudra Homams, binding the national boundaries as it were. I do not want to take too much of your time, but I'll read another small passage which is written by Dr. David Frawley as a kind of a foreword to one of Guruji's very, very interesting books, which is titled Structure of the Universe, Visvarupa. David Frawley says, Guruji gives importance to and explains the Puranas in a way that is perhaps unique in India today and completely missed by Western Indological scholars. He shows how astronomy and astrology, both ancient and modern, are linked with cosmology in revealing the structure of the universe and the movement of time through the different lokas and how these underlie the Puranic vision. He shows us the true stature and power of the Puranas and how they hold the keys to the mysteries of existence. His book challenges how we look at the world today and provides us a bridge to the ancient Vedic and yoga wisdom of the sages who learned to explore the entire universe within their own consciousness. He has the direct experience himself of the entire Brahmanda in his own consciousness and does not merely speak out of speculation or book knowledge. His yogic realizations are evident from all that he states. And before I close, Guruji's address in Chennai on 2/11/2007 at PSS School. In fact, he titled the book, the small speech, Awakening the Hindu's Conscience. And in that speech, Guruji dwells on this aspect as part of the national anthem which we heard today. Bharata Bhagya Vidhata Jaya He. He questioned, who is this Vidhata? Who is this governor of the destiny of Bharatavarsha, the Bharata country? Bharata Bhagya Vidhata Jaya He. Whom are we addressing? It is in fact your conscience. It is our conscience. That is Bharata Bhagya Vidhata. Not somebody sitting in the skies elsewhere. Bharata Bhagya Vidhata should be in our hearts. We should be able to assert ourselves. This is how Guruji strived during his lifetime to awaken the conscience of the nation. And even in Ravi, his role is second to none. So we are all extremely happy that his mission is slowly, fruitfully, and slowly reaching to this country. I'm sure today's function is another milestone in that mission when we are honoring every senior advocate who strove every second to win that famous epoch-making, the kind of a judgment in favor of construction of Sri Ram Mandir. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Subramanian Garu. It is our pleasure that the renowned journalist Thiru S. Gurumurthy Avargal, editor of Thuglak, is on the dais. We cordially invite him to address the August gathering. Please.
Namaskaram to all. Honorable Governor, Shri Ravi, and a person who I have always revered for the last 40 years since I came in contact with him, in a very turbulent case in which we were on opposite side, about which I will have an occasion to relate as I proceed to say something about him. And the Subramaniam and Mr. Raj Kandukuri, sorry, and my namaskarams to all who are present here. Guruji was of course, I need not have to add, but I experienced him as a towering spiritual and intellectual genius. I have had occasion to interact with him, and I have been a great beneficiary of not only his ideas, his expositions. I was a beneficiary of the courage with which he expressed his convictions. At a time it was very difficult to talk about things which are now fairly comfortable we are talking about. In those days, not many people had had the guts to tell things about the country, about its history, about its past, about its future, in a manner in which he did. I was a great beneficiary of the spiritual courage that emanated from him. Today we are talking about an award in his name, and I would like to say something about the awards in which I had had some personal experience, being part of the Padma Awards Committee in 2015, and also about this award and about the awardee. We have heard about awards and award, Lifetime Achievement Award, Padma Award, and all awards are necessary in some sense, because the society has to be told who are honorable people. In Gita there is a sloka, Yadata charati sreshtaha tattatteva itaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastat. This is true of all nations, all societies, and all times actually. The normal people follow some extraordinary people. It is the extraordinary people who decide the direction of the ordinary people. If the extraordinary people are wrong people, the people are misdirected in a wrong way. If the extraordinary people are great people, then the people are directed in a proper way. So, awards are a medium to identify great people. For others to know, yes, such people exist in the society. Undiscovered many people exist in the society. In fact, being part of the Padma Awards Committee in 2015, 3 years I was there, and I could find a lot of people going to the awards. But a transformation has taken place in the last few years. The awards are going to the awardee. The government is searching for the honorable people to give the award instead of honorable people coming and applying for the awards. This is a huge paradigm difference. Today you find the kind of awardees. In fact, I have never attended the Padma Awards function. This time I had an opportunity to attend because one of my friends was receiving the award. Even as the member of the jury, I never attended the Padma Award, actual big function in which the award is given. And I found the kind of people who are being given awards now have enhanced the status of the awards. So, some awards enhance, some awardees get enhanced status because of the award. Some awards get enhanced in status because of the awardee stature. Here, it is working both ways. The award is being given in the name of one of the tallest and greatest, not only intellectuals, one of the greatest spiritual seers, and a person who has shaped the life of thousands and thousands of people. And he commanded the respect of the best of men in the society. He was a teacher par excellence. And the award is instituted in his name. And the awardee is not a person who can be easily described. He is not just a lawyer, he is not just a jurist, he is not just a professional. People like him cannot be comprehended by normal idioms. And when I am saying this, I am not saying this to please him because he need not be pleased beyond how he has been pleased so far. And I have not come here to praise him, I have come here to acknowledge him. Exactly 40 years before, if I remember right, no, maybe more, in 1980, 42 years back, we were both on two sides of the case. I was advising the Indian Express and he was representing the government of India. He was the additional Solicitor General at that time, if I remember right. So the case was one of the most turbulent cases. The government had ordered the seizure of the Indian Express building and the demolition of the building to move it out of Delhi. It was one of the most, I would say, an autocratic decision taken by a government. And the government had put its entire prestige behind that case. And the paper was, a very courageous paper led by Mr. Goenka. And it was a political case of a kind which only people at that time knew how hot it was. So when we unveiled the case before the court, because much of it was not known in the public domain till we actually put the case before the court, Mr. Parasaran was on the other side. He asked the courts, can this case be deferred for some time? The court agreed. Then after 3 months, if I remember right, when at the time the court had asked the government whether the notice is issued by the government to demolish the building and to take over the premises, whether it can be reviewed, whether the government can rescind it, because it is not a very sustainable thing, but the government had put all its might behind it. So Mr. Parasaran had asked for time. After 3 months, he came and said, I am not appearing in this case. In between, what happened? No one knew. He never said anything. In fact, I came to know much later. He told the government, you have 2 options. Either you can proceed without me in the case, or I can resign. How many people would have had the guts to tell Mrs. Gandhi at that time, when she was at the height of his popularity, having come back a second time in 1980, that showed not just a jurist, not just a lawyer, not just an extraordinary man, but as a person of high conviction that he should not defend a wrong case. That's important. You see, unless you have very deep spiritual instincts, you don't take such positions. So if he argued the Ramjan Bhumi case, 50% of it was law and 50% of his stature, which commanded the respect of the court. You know, a tough case, a case which could turn the country in any direction. A wrong judgment could have put the country on the boil. And a judgment that came was such an harmonious judgment, everybody's mind converging, which made the entire country converge, not a single protest. It became the most unanimously accepted judgment. And I told Mr. Parasaran afterwards, we honored him. In fact, my wife only wanted one thing. Somehow you should see that we fall flat at his feet when he comes. So I ensured that it happens because that was her only dream. No, she didn't have much knowledge about what was happening, but she knew one thing, that this man achieved something which she wanted. So when this award is being given to Parasaranji, it only means this, that he also adds stature to the award. So that is the function. The award is being given in the name of one of the greatest spiritualists. It is being given to a person who adds status to the award also. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the momentous moment has arrived. Yeah. It is time to present the Sivananda Eminent Citizen Award to the outstanding personality, Thiru Shri Parasaran Avargal. May I request Srimati Sita Madhav, former NIE consultant, to read the citation.
Sanatan Dharma Charitable Trust, Bhimini Patnam. Sivananda Eminent Citizen Award 2020 conferred on Thiru Kesavan Parasaran Avargal. Sri Rama was hailed as the embodiment of Dharma by sage Valmiki. This proclamation was made to inspire us to follow the path of Dharma in all walks of life, consciously and spontaneously. Over time, we realized that it is Dharma that lends sweetness and meaning to an otherwise mundane existence, and it transforms an average human being into a source of inspiration. Sri K. Parasaran, by displaying citizenship of the highest order and standing effortlessly tall by his natural humility, not only keeps us in awe of him, but impels us to tread the path of Dharma. Thus, a true devotee of Sri Rama is never away nor too different from the Lord himself. It is not due to destiny but the design of divinity that Shri Parasaran chose law as his life. For it is the practice of law that tests one's dharmic mettle and threatens integrity. One who passes this test becomes a path himself for others to follow. Shri Parasaran enrolled himself in the High Court of Madras in 1950 and in the Supreme Court in 1958. A born stickler for principles, his stature grew from one level to another by dint of his steadfastness, sustained hard work and sincerity. He was appointed as the Advocate General of Tamil Nadu, which post he resigned subsequently. He became the Solicitor General of India in 1980 and Attorney General for India in 1983. He resigned this post too. He was the President of the Indian Society of Criminology and the Bar Association of India. He was the head of the Indian team that represented the Union of India to represent the victims of the Bhopal gas leak tragedy. His stature was recognized not only in India but overseas as well. In 1984, he led the delegation to New York to represent India before the United Nations Human Rights Commission, whose chairman recorded glittering encomium praising Shri Parasaran for the content and presentation of the case. He was a member of the Permanent Court of Arbitration at The Hague. As a member of the Indo-British Legal Forum, he presented a paper on Constitutional Issues on Devolution of a Federal System at London. In 1989, the Annamalai University honored him with Doctor of Laws, and in 2000, he was nominated as a member of the National Commission for Review of the Working of the Constitution of India. He has appeared in several interstate river water disputes and dam safety disputes as well. It is virtually impossible to count the number of awards that were showered on him. The Rashtriya Samman by the Central Board of Taxes Chennai region, the National Law Day Award from the Indian Council of Jurists, International Lawyers Network, the Great Son of the Soil by the All India Conference of Intellectuals in the year 2002, the Sadhana Award for Excellence in Law and Public Affairs by the Samudya Foundation in 2003, the Award of Law Legend by the Revenue Bar Association on occasion of its Golden Jubilee celebration, Centenarian Lifetime Achievement Award in the year 2005 by the Centenarian Trust, Chennai, Professor Justice A.B. Rohatgi Jurist Award in the year 2015 by the Society of Indian Law Firms and Menon Institute of Legal Advisory Training, an award on the Constitution Day celebrations in 2016 presented by the Honorable Chief Justice of India and judges of the Supreme Court of India, in recognition of his contribution to the development of constitutional law in India, and the award for outstanding contribution to the development of legal profession in India and for his deep involvement and conscientious encouragement in the promotion and maintenance of the highest standard at the bar, awarded in the year 2016 by the Bar Association of India. These are but a few of the numerous laurels that were conferred on him. The Government of India honored him with the Padma Bhushan in 2003 and the Padma Vibhushan in 2011. He was also nominated to the Rajya Sabha for the period of 2012 to 2018. He has appeared in numerous cases before the Supreme Court of India involving complex issues on various subjects. There have been at least 28 landmark cases which he has represented, including the Sabarimala and Ayodhya issues. A great devotee of Lord Rama, he took a vow not to use footwear till the construction of a temple for Rama is permitted in Ayodhya. Despite his advanced age and despite request of the judges, he stood up and argued the case barefoot. This nonagenarian has been serving as a bridge between the principled past of India and its tumultuous present, striving to usher in a promising future. When the ruler abides by dharma, it is called Ramarajya. In that esoteric sense, he has been leading from the front as an enthusiastic practitioner and upholder of dharma, thus being an exemplar of a conscientious citizen of this great country. We are immensely privileged to present the Sivananda Eminent Citizen Award 2020 to Shri K. Parasaran for his outstanding contribution to the ethos of our country, displaying a high degree of citizenship through the practice of law. We offer our pranams to him and pray to the Lord that he continues to serve India for many years to come and lead the country to its pristine glory. Raj Kandukuri, Managing Trustee, 27th of March 2022, Raj Bhavan, Chennai.
Thank you, Sita. May I humbly request Honorable Governor to felicitate Thiru Kesavan Parasaran Avargal. The Honorable Governor will felicitate Shri Parasaran ji with a shawl. Citation. Memento. Papers. Books authored by Puja Guruji. And the Tulsi plant. I also request Shri Ravi Subramaniam IAS to assist the Honorable Governor to present Professor L.S.R. Krishna Sastry Memorial Award instituted in his late father's name that is normally presented along with the Sivananda Eminent Citizen Award every year. Now, the Honorable Governor will honor Shri Parasaran Avargal with a floral bouquet. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, all of us are now eager to hear from the grandsire, Thiru Parasaran Avargal. May I request Thiru Parasaran Avargal to speak on the occasion.
Namaskar, most respected and Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Shri R.N. Ravi ji, the head of the Tamil Nadu state and first citizen of the state, my good friend Mr. Gurumurthy, a great scholar in several aspects, Mr. Subramaniam, the former Chief Secretary of Andhra Pradesh and former Executive Officer of the TTD, one of the most dynamic of the officers who held the office with highest reputation and integrity. The disciples and followers of Sadhguruji who have come here, many of them were mostly from Andhra Pradesh, a long distance they have travelled. My friends from New Delhi who have come here, the esteemed elders, the trustees and office bearers of Shri Sanatana Dharma Charitable Trust and the Guruji's Eminent Citizen Award Committee, esteemed elders, members of the family of which I am a member, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored and feel very humbled. I have accepted this award with the utmost humility at my command. There may be more deserving people for the award, but then destiny ordains it. Full many a gem of flowers best necessary, they dot and fat from caves of ocean bare. Full many a flower is born to blush unseen, and wasted sweetness of the desert air. Everything, a great scientist said, everything is preordained or predestined. And the entire universe danced to the tune of a common piper. We all dance to that tune. It was Sankalpa of Lord Ram that enough is enough. Banishment 14 years when I came as a human incarnation, and banishment from my own temple for more than 5 centuries, enough is enough. It was his Sankalpa that this temple should come into existence, and therefore the battle was fought by him and won by him. I may share with you the information that the Supreme Court held. The title is in Lord Ram Lalla, not in anybody else, not in the two communities they are fighting. This is the greatness of that God and the verdict of the Supreme Court. We all play the role destined by Him. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, Nimitta Matram Tam Sabbisachi. Do you think you can win this battle fighting against Bhishma, Drona, Kripa and Karna? I have already won the battle. In my Vishwarupa, I showed the Kauravas all hanging with blood in my teeth. But for the outside world, I must show somebody. You are a mere nimitta, he said. It was His grace and blessings that I started reciting a few subjects in Valmiki Ramayana every day around the prayers. In those days, I used to finish in 3 months. Now it takes more than a year for the reading on. It is His Sankalpa that let him be the nimitta. Therefore, the role I played is insignificant, even more insignificant than the role played by the squirrel in the Ramayana. But it has been in case that the temple is coming there. And it is all the more a great prestige for me that the award established in memory of Guruji, I should be a recipient of that award and should receive it from the Honorable Governor of the state. I feel greatly privileged to have received this award from the head of the state, the Honorable Mr. Ravi. I thank one and all of you for being present here to bless me. I thank all the dais, the great men, for having spared their time and be here, and particularly the Governor of Tamil Nadu. And I understand that the Governor had not been in Chennai, he had been at Kanyakumari or somewhere, and he has come all the way only today afternoon. I thank you, sir, for your gracious presence here. Thank every one of you. Thank you, sir. I must not forget one thing, then I will be ungrateful. It is not a battle fought by me alone. It required a team. I was jokingly telling them today, when the Devas went to, along with Brahma, went to Lord Narayana, that they are not able to bear the suffering of Ravana, the Lord said, He can't be conquered by anybody else. He made two exceptions in the book he asked for. Only Nara and Vanara. They alone can. But thinking that they can't do anything against him. Therefore the Lord said, I'll come in the form of a Nara, and you all come in the form of Vanaras. Atmam Tesha Sura Sarve, Bhuma Vanararupidaha, Jayedan Mama Sahayam, Katun Ravana Nikre. Not that they are Vanaras. They are Devas, the form of the Vanara. I had a team of 9. And including me, it was a team of 10. Ravana was a Dasadan and 10 headed. Dasaratha had run the chariot in all 10 directions. Dasaratha had. That's why Rama is called Dasarathi. He chose 10 lawyers, of whom I was one. Mr. Yogeshwar is here who assisted me. Mr. Sridhar is here who assisted me. Mr. Bhakti is here who assisted me. Mr. Anirudh Sharma, who assisted me, is also here. The rest are not here. One could not be here for best of reasons. Therefore, it was a team of lawyers who worked, but the credit somebody knocks off. It is God's will that I knocked off the credit. It also is due to every one of them. Thank you for all you have come here and having me.
Thank you, sir. We are all really blessed today to participate in this memorable function. Thank you very much. Honorable Governor, sir, it was indeed nice of you to grace the occasion as chief guest today. I request you to kindly give your message.
Most respected Thiru K. Parasaran ji, Thiru S. Gurmurthy ji, Thiru Raj Kandukuri ji, Thiru L.V. Subramaniam ji, all the distinguished invitees, gracious ladies and gentlemen. Sanatan Dharma Charitable Trust, its managing trustee, especially Sri Raj Kandukuri, I thank him for organizing this assembly of distinguished citizens to felicitate an eminent citizen, this eminently distinguished citizen of this country, Shri K. Parasaran ji, and giving the Raj Bhavan an opportunity to host it. We feel honored, we feel blessed in having this great person with us today. Sanatan Dharma Charitable Trust has been doing a number of good works for the preservation, promotion of Sanatan Dharma, building the national consciousness, which should be the prime carrier of the Sanatan Dharma. And I pay my most respectful homage to Sadguru Sri Sivananda ji Maharaj, in whose name this award has been instituted. When I look at Sri K. Parasaran ji, I recollect, I just try to imagine what our rishis of the past would have been like. We all know our Vedic rishis were not the people who ran away from life, they lived life. They raised families, they worked for their livelihood, they did intense intellectual and spiritual inquiry into the Vedic riches, which can very short, crisp, which and containing the condensed and complex wisdom, deciphering all these, elucidating, elaborating them, to make it accessible to the common person, and thereby adding to the corpus of literature, Vedic literature. I see Parasaranji raising a family, earning his livelihood, and dedicating his whole life, which is an example for others, for all of us to emulate, to follow, the dharmic way of life. The landmark judgment about which we are all so proud and so happy that came, for which he is being felicitated today. I know Shri Parasaran is above and beyond honors, awards. Honors, awards, laurels have been showering on him. But it's a way of, this award is the way of expressing our gratitude, saying our thank you for what he has done, he has been doing for the society, for the Dharma. We know how difficult the battle has been. Many generations of people have waited for this day to come. And eventually it came with his and his team's endeavor. We are indeed grateful to him and his team for achieving, for the entire Hindu community, what he achieved. You know, when we talk about this country, India, unfortunately, for a very long time, it has been, as our Gurumurti ji said, if you have great leader, because the rest are followers, he quoted the saying of Lord Krishna in Gita, which says that how the people, they follow the great people, the leader. Yad achariti shreshta tatra deve tarojana sa yat pramanam kurte lokas tadanu vartate. It so happened that we, for a very long time, we kept looking at this country from eyes which were not the eyes of this place. It was looked at as a geography inhabited by different people inhabiting different regions, different races, different languages, different cultures. And so the response, the government response in dealing with these people of the country and the problem was also based on looking diversities as differences. The essential element, the glue that bound this country together, which is our shared cultural spirituality, Kashmir to Kanyakumari, Kutch to Kamrup, it is that you see in our everyday life, from birth to death and whatever comes in between, in the individual life, collective lives, that cultural spirituality in different languages is experienced and shared by all the Indians. That was missing. In fact, that was looked down upon. Anyone talking about spirituality, anyone talking about dharma, it was kind of an infraday. People didn't have the courage. And when it comes to Sri Ram, what binds this country, the people of this country, if you look at the diversities as differences, then India is a crowd. It becomes a community, it becomes a family only when we look at its shared cultural spirituality. And Sri Ram has been at the center of that cultural spirituality. He is the most revered icon, lives in the heart of every Indian. And I tell you, some experiences I would like to share. How Sri Ram lives in the heart of the people. People who, for a very long time, we believe that, no, they are different. Over 3 decades back, when I was in the Home Ministry, I was given the responsibility to look into the affairs of the northeastern region of our country. This area was a terra incognita. I didn't know nothing about this. And as it happens in the ministry, in the agencies, I was given copious volumes of notes to read and know something about the people, the place, and the problems. I had occasion to read correspondence of the Prime Minister to the Chief Minister, then Prime Minister Nehru writing to Chief Minister of Assam, that was the only state. Tour notes of very relevant, who happened to be a missionary turned anthropologist, who happened to be, or managed himself to become the advisor of the Prime Minister on tribal affairs, and he shaped our tribal policy. His tour notes, all of them had a common story to tell. That Northeast is a region inhabited by more than 200 different ethnic tribes. They are racially different from each other, linguistically different, their customs are different. And they are not Indians. They came from different parts. Some came from China, some came from the remote parts of the Southeast Asia. It was only a quirk of history, the British rule, that it became a part of India. So, our responsibility is to delicately, sensitively bring them into our fold. That was the understanding of the government, that was the understanding of academia. When I went to the region and I visited out of curiosity the universities to learn about the people and the place, Guwahati University, Tezpur University, Northeast Hill University in Shillong, Dibrugarh, all of them, they recommended me the books written by Gate, Hutton, Posse, Andrews, either a British administrator or missionaries. And all had the same story. In the course of my responsibility as my way of working is, I developed contacts among the tribes, among the major tribes, people of my age. Over the period, this contact matured into friendship, and as it happens, when we were friends, we were invited. I was invited to their houses. And when I went to their houses, lived with them, and listened to the folk lores and folk tales, I was amazed to listen the story of Sri Rama. Dimasas, Sri Rama's story. Karbis, Sri Rama's story. Khasis, Jayantiyas, Rabhas, Mishings, even Nagas, some tribes of Nagas. Lushais, they now call themselves Mizos. Mizo, they were not calling this is a newly fabricated name, and they are very rabid in their newfound religion. But even Lushais, or elderly people, the folklores, folk tales are there about Sri Rama. The language is different. There are some certain variations, but the core story of Sri Rama remains. And then I wondered that how could these people be different from us? How could all these years we have been looking at them as different, as not ours, and making interventions, coming up with policies, treating them as different. And we had disastrous consequences, massive violence. It became a petri dish of insurgency. Each one said, no, we are different, so we will not be with you. And you also said that we are not you. Okay, fine, we will not be with you. It's only recent years, after 2014, that, because when I tried at that point of time, it's not very easy to change the narrative, change the mind of people. That look, the people you are calling them as people who came from outside and people who are different, they have the story of Sri Rama. You know, there is a tribe, Idu Mishmi, not very far from Tibet border. It is in Arunachal Pradesh. They have in their tradition of having tuft, shikha. Normally, Brahmins have shikhas. I was curious, I asked them, what is this? And what they told me was something very interesting. They said, Rukmini was from their place. And she was in love with Shri Krishna. But her brother Rukmi wanted to marry her off to somebody. She informed Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna came, fought, and he was going to kill Rukmi. Rukmini sought prandan for her brother. Shri Krishna spared his life, but with his Sudarshan Chakra, as a punishment, he shaved his hair, leaving the tuft. Now, this folklore, this story is among the people who we can call them as tribe, backward, coming from some far off distant land because they don't look like us. I don't know how we have been running this country. So we see wherever we go in this country, we see Sri Rama, Sri Krishna. And more than 1 billion Hindus had to wait, going through the period of frustrations, disappointment, to have a temple at the place which we all believe, all Hindus believe it is his birthplace. Imagine a matter of faith, a matter of astha became a matter of historical evidence. You bring evidence whether he was there or not. I wonder if such a test is introduced in some other religion, what would happen? But yes, people waited, but finally the day came. And thanks to a person like Mr. Parasaran, that the people got what they were generations looking for. And this achievement is a watershed moment in the history of India. We can feel there is a temper in the air. We see that the country is in resurgence. It is marching towards its destiny with confidence never before felt at such a scale. And in this resurgence, if the cultural and spiritual resurgence was missing, it would not have been possible. It is complete only when we have the progress, the development, when the country is becoming materially, moving towards material prosperity, military strength, intellectual superiority, this spirituality of Sanatan Dharma, which Sri Ram embodies, personifies. Incidentally, all those tribes, in their code of conduct behavior also, this is what Sri Rama did. As we often tell in the most illiterate people will say how you treat your brother, how you sort of look after, you take care of your father, you listen to your mother as a husband, as a wife, as a ruler. Even they quote that. So this our entire value system has evolved, has developed over thousands of years, revolving around the life of Sri Rama. And for this, getting a temple at his birthplace, a magnificent one, is going to be, in future, a landmark. 1,000 years down the line, when the children will study the history of India, this period of history will be remembered with pride. That eventually, this was the beginning of rise of India to its destiny. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving us what was long due to us. I wish you long and healthy life. People say you are 95. 95, we have seen this country, Ramanujacharya lived for 120 years. We had Srimad Shankar Deol, 15th century saint of Assam, lived for 119 years. Other day, in a Padma Award, Yoga Guru, Swami Sivananda ji, 125 plus, 126 years. So, our legitimate expectation is that you should be here for at least a quarter of a century to illuminate and inspire all of us. Thank you very much, sir.
Honorable Governor, sir, we are thankful and grateful to you for your presence and message, which are equally valuable. Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, it is your cooperation that has made this function a grand success. May I invite Shri Parasaran Avargal, IAS, former Special Chief Secretary to Government of Andhra Pradesh, for a formal vote of thanks.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. It is indeed an honor and pleasure for me to propose a vote of thanks to this august function. At the outset, my humble pranams and profound gratitude to Pujya Guruji for establishing this trust and honoring the great sons of Bharat like Shri Parasaran, thereby inspiring countless people, among whom I am also one. We take this opportunity to first and foremost thank the Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Shri R.N. Ravi, for not only accepting to be the chief guest of today's function, but also for graciously consenting to host this beautiful function in the Raj Bhavan. Our trust is indeed indebted to you, sir. Incidentally, it is not out of place to mention, since we have been talking about Lord Ram since evening, Mr. Parasaran wanted us to mention this little point that Lord Rama, as we all know, belonged to the Surya Vamsha, and the chief guest of today's function is also a Surya. and he has honored a Ram Bhakt. We can only say it's a divine coincidence. We like to thank the awardee Shri Parasaran, the Bhishma Pitama of India's legal fraternity, for graciously accepting this award. He is a true Bharat Ratna who is a source of inspiration for us, not only for his extraordinary accomplishments, but more significantly for the exemplary way he has led his long life. We thank Shri S. Gurumurthy, the guest of honor, who needs no introduction to this gathering. He is another great son of Bharat. Sir, your articles on various subjects and crusades on many crucial issues concerning our nation have inspired us for a very long time. We are indeed thankful to you for gracing this occasion. A special mention has to be made of the catalytic role played by Shri P.V.R. Krishna Rao in organizing this function. He has proved to be a worthy son of an able father who was well known in the cultural circles for organizing such functions. We sincerely thank him. We also take this opportunity to thank Shri Murali of Sri Krishna Sweets fame for making special arrangements for high tea, which we will shortly have. His is always a labor of love. We thank him. On behalf of the Sanatana Dharma Charitable Trust, we sincerely thank the Secretary to the Honorable Governor, Shri Anandrao Patil, the ADCs and all the staff of Raj Bhavan who were extremely courteous and kind in making various arrangements. But for their generosity, this function would not have been so well organized. Our special thanks to the representatives of the visual and print media for covering this function. We also thank the volunteers of the Trust and the distinguished guests who have assembled here for making this function a memorable one. Jai Hind. Ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity to request all of you to give a standing ovation to Shri Parasaran before we conclude this function.
Thank you, Prasad Garu. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly rise for the national anthem.
जनगणमनाधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Ladies and gentlemen, a humble request, kindly remain in your seats till the Honorable Governor leaves the hall. And may I request all of you on behalf of Sanatana Dharma Charitable Trust to kindly join for the high tea. Thank you very much.